everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for checking in. This is the light ale. I've done a second batch since we got together last, so still have a few days before I can see if it turned out as good as the first one. But this is a very, very good beer. Cheers. Excellent. So, a little over a year ago, I rated the beers I brew, which were all kit beers at that point. And I think there were probably 10 or 11 kit beers that I had done, and I rated them from my favorites anyway, from 1 on down. So I thought here a year plus later it might be good to do the same thing with the all grain. Now I've only got 5 all grain beers that I've brewed so far. Still experimenting with some other recipes, so we'll see where that lands. But anyway, I thought for your benefit I'd let you know how I've kind of ranked mine. And it doesn't mean that any of these are bad beers, because they're definitely not, but just I think from an overall flavor perspective and how happy I was with how they turned out, I'd go through the list. So coming in at number 5 is the American Ale, which is also known as what I refer to as the High Life Ale. This was supposed to be similar to an American brewed beer, not a lager, but an ale variety. And it turned out good. I think if you remember in the videos that I said it had a rather sweet flavor to it, which I attributed to the corn in it. It's a good beer. It's a clean beer. It's very, very mild. And so if anyone that you're trying to introduce them to a home brew, this is definitely a good one. Coming in at number 4 is the Kolsch. It tastes exactly like a Kolsch should taste. It's very clean, has a little bit on the aftertaste, a little hint of bitterness, but not very bad at all. Again, this is probably the easiest all-grain beer to brew because it's just 9 pounds of Pilsner, and then your hops and the boil and yeast, and you're done. So it's very simple. The simplest beer that I brew. A good beer, a good all-around beer, same as the first one. Real easy drinking for someone who's never had home brew before. Coming in at number 3, and now we're getting down to where they get a little bit harder. The Chocolate Sweet Stout. This is an awesome beer, and I don't see myself ever getting away from brewing it. Everybody loves it. It just has such a great flavor. The overtones of the chocolate malt, the sweetness of the non-fermentable sugar in there. It's a real favorite around here, and I like it. I mean, these last 3 were all very close, and this one's just a great beer to brew. And the instructions and the recipe are out online on all of these. You can watch my videos on how to brew them, and the recipe should be there. If you find something missing, or you want some other information about one of them, let me know and I'll post it out there. Coming in at number 2 is the Light Ale, and this was a real toss-up between this and number 1 because this is so good. And I think I mentioned last time, I think it had just become drinkable, and I was already down just about a case because everybody that came in wanted it. So I got on it right away. I'll probably have to brew another one here pretty quick. It tastes like a lager. I mean, there's no getting around it. I think that's because it's so clean. This is what people expect when they drink beer, and it's just great. So, Light Ale number 2, and coming in at number 1 would be the Amber Ale. And the reason I rated this one as number 1 is it has a really nice full-bodied flavor, and it has an aftertaste that reminds you of, the microbrewery down the street. It has some bitterness to it, which mellows with age. When I first opened this one and we did the taste test on it, I think you remember me saying that I thought I'd taper down on the hops, the bittering hops, just to take a little bit of the edge off. And as it sat a few more weeks, it just got great. So with that one, I decided to leave the formula the same, and I brewed it again. It turned out just exactly the same way. It's just a great beer, a great all-around beer, and I just love it. And again, that recipe's out online, and it's a pretty easy beer to brew. So that's it for my top 5 on the beers. I still have to come up with a couple more recipes to put out there, we do a little something different because I'm sure it gets boring to see the same things brewed over and over and over again. So until next time, I hope you guys have a great Homebrew Wednesday, a great week. Cheers.